StingerPA and JanusZeal. And I don't know about you, but I've been super hype about any 1-on-1s that have been going on because those have been some of the closer matches that I've seen.
Oh, indeed. Looks like we had a bit of a false start on the left side. That's not a problem as long as we just roll it back and start again.
5-second penalty, replay first down.
No, I think.
Yeah.
I believe the first down actually belongs to the swag duck.
That's probably true. And apparently Uncle is having an error, which is why he's probably going into the escape and having some issues. Need to reprogram him properly.
All right. So, Stinger and Janet's going to start this seed right off the bat, and we'll get to see what sort of weapon we're going to deal with today. 7 different possibilities. We know it's not the sword. We just seen it from the uncle walking out. Oh, it's bomb start, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy.
Probably the most challenging start.
Yeah, that and Burna are probably pretty similar in difficulty. Because the thing with Burna is it's not really that strong by itself. It just doesn't use a lot of magic once you start using it. But you have to be able to conserve it to kill enough enemies, especially if you don't get any bomb drops or anything like that.
Yeah, you're very constrained on resources. Now, the upside on bombs is you don't have to farm bombs, as long as you keep enough to get that last set of chests there. You need at least 6 people, or not, you need at least 6 explosions to take down all the stuff. I think Stinger needs to disable some of his hotkeys.
There we go. I think you got it right there.
Oop. We have a missed bomb and a second one. That's unfortunate. So we've also got missed bombs on Janus's side as well.
Yeah, doing this nice setup, you can actually get the guards stuck on a bunch of statues in the escape. So that was a really nice setup from Janus right there.
So the blue guards require 2 bombs to destroy. The green guards require 1. And of course, there is the true final boss of escape, which is the rat with the key.
Yeah, you wouldn't think like, oh, that rat can stop in place, but sometimes that's completely RNG. And so it can stop whenever it wants to, and so it can really screw over your patterns and make you waste a few bombs.
I've seen a lot of people go for, whoa!
Yeah, that's a sick strat. I absolutely love that strat if you can pull it off.
That was still 2 bombs though, right? That wasn't just 1 bomb hitting him twice?
I believe it is 1 bomb hitting him twice. Because he like knocks back against the statue. I could be wrong though. It might be 2 bombs.
That is something I'm gonna have to learn to do. That looks like living your best life right there.
Exactly. So both runners still doing okay on bombs. Stinger with 3 and Janus with 4. And then you have the pots to kill off all the enemies. Oh man, getting a little bit body blocked right here by the guard.
There's a fairy. Oh! That's... You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I might just go back upstairs.
Yeah.
This will take 2 more bombs to kill him.
Yeah, then he won't have a bomb. Yeah. There you go. Okay, so he still has the 1 bomb for the back, but the thing is that he is not gonna be able to check escape, or the back of escape 3 chests.
All right, so we've got. So we found the burrito, the map there in Zelda's chest. That means we will need 2 more, or we will need. That means there'll be something in the remaining 4 chests. Whether they are useful or not, that remains to be seen.
Yeah, I think the way that it works is when bombs come out as your weapon item, the seed believes that you can gain access to it because of the amount of required bombs. If for some reason Janus, uses the one bomb to kill the rat and then doesn't have a bomb for that, it has to come back as soon as they get power gloves because it could have some progression in there.
Yeah. One point made by the chat is a very interesting strat you could do where you walk into the sewers or the back area and just take a death. That way you have 3 bombs instead of 1.
That's a good point. That's like some next level Death War plays. There was just a big 20 in the dark sewer chest, so nothing so far. Let's see how the rat, if the rat plays nice with Stinger. Oh, I think he overshot the rat right there.
Oh, that's unfortunate, but he does get it taken care of, and we still have 1 bomb left to check these 3 remaining chests.
That's what I like to call a hashtag calculated right there. So we got 50 rupees, we got a piece of heart, and just a big 20. So this won't be a problem for Janus. Nothing major there, so sigh of relief.
Other than the fact that it will be an out-of-the-way location that he has to come back and check sometime. I mean, he doesn't have to, but it's likely it will be on his mind.
Yeah,
I think he's
I
lost
wouldn't
track of
blame
which
him.
rat is which. But it doesn't matter, he gets them both.
Oh, and half magic in Sanctuary.
That feels pretty good. I don't know about you.
I am a fan of half magic, especially when it comes to some of the later boss fights like Trinex and even Ganon themselves.
Yeah, I'm a fan of half magic for some of the earlier boss fights, like Moth.
Yeah, especially when you're relying on, like, if you only have like Fighter Sword and you're relying on Fire Rod to do the damage. Oh, and Stinger unfortunately kills the crab. So we'll know what that pull is until maybe Janus checks.
All right, so we did get a check on the Lumberjack Ledge. That is just a +5 arrow upgrade. Janus turned around in order to refill some health here. That is a perfectly valid strategy, especially when you're sitting on half a heart. That sounded like more magic.
Yeah, that's what this sound. Oh, there's a shield in the mushroom spot.
So I don't think we're running out of magic today. Just throwing that one out there.
Yeah, this game really wants us to use all of the magical items, but
yeah, all the magical items we've been given.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Oh, it's full again. Wow.
And Stinger is now heading toward Kakariko Village. Everybody's favorite treasure trove of tons of stuff right at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see too if Stinger will go to the back. Okay, it actually looks like going to go in a Blind's Hut and take a gamble that there will be a 3 bomb drop or a 10 bomb drop in here.
Yep, there won't be a 10.
Oh, that's right, because, okay, I'm not used to bomb starts, so yeah, there will only be 3 bomb drops for the rest of the seed.
So we've got all of the bottles here today, or half of the bottles anyway. 2 bottles in Blind's Hut. That's, I mean, I definitely want to see bottles sometime before I get to Sick Kids. So
I'm gonna map check too. We got Pendant, Eastern, and Hera with a Crystal of Desert. So Green Pendant will be in the Dark Worlds for this seed. We just don't know what it will be yet. Maybe they'll check once they go over to Sarsaparilla.
Yeah, It's a possibility. You don't see near as many people talking to Sazrala in this particular boat. The Key Sanity tournament, that happened all the time.
Mm-hmm. Because all the music was random, so you would never know what it is until you got the map, or if you talk to somebody to give you the information. Just a piece of heart at the sick kid. So those 2 bottles not leading to anything.
Yep, but at least that is out of the way, and you don't have to remember it anymore.
Yeah, and might not have to go to the potion shop because you've already got a green for the magic and a red for your health. So that's really nice to have.
Now Janus is going for the double gamble here, going to the well without bombs as well, and gets some. I think that's vanilla, actually.
I believe you are correct. So that pays off a little bit for Janus, so can just easily route back to blind set.
I do like me some money. That particular amount, indeed, as we can start saving up for Zora. Oh, and we've got the Cane of Samaria, also down in the well.
Very nice. That's always a pleasant surprise to get early, because then when you get to Dark World and say you get like Flute or you get like a Fire Rod, you can decide, hey, I can just dip TR early or Mire early.
Mm-hmm. For all we know, that could be what the seed expects you to do. Right now, both runners are headed toward the same chest right now. Unfortunately, it's not going to be that big a deal.
Yeah. Getting that 300, though, means if they get another 300 here in the near future, Zora can easily be on the table early to check, which Zora can be a pain to check and put into your routing, but it's always nice to get out of the back of your mind.
All right, so we're basically done on Stinger's side with the Kakariko proper checks. We've still got the library and the race game. Just 50 rupees on the library, so we won't have to keep that one in mind.
All right, and also, interesting thing I've enjoyed watching between runners in this tournament is whether they decide to gamble race game or not. In Key Sanity, it was more worth it because you could have keys on there on top of just regular progression items. But in standard mode, it's there's a lot less items that can be on there.
I feel like in this case, I would have definitely just gone for it. I also would have definitely been sad, but that's okay.
It's a to each their own, honestly. I don't think there's a right or wrong way of doing it.
Mine depends on how many progression items I've found so far. So, like, I found just cane and a bottle, so that's below the threshold.
All right, looks like Stinger is going to be heading down to the standard South Shore route. Going to grab 2 items here at the dam, and then going to pick up the mini Moldorm Cave, most likely. Having 8 bombs and Cane of Samaria is pretty good. Cane of Samaria strats are really good in that cave.
I mean, there are some things I prefer to Cane of Samaria strats, but it certainly beats just throwing bombs around.
All right, let's see where Janus decides to go here. Is also opting for the South Shore route. So kind of following each other's footsteps.
We got hammer time underneath the dam.
Very nice.
Somebody dropped their hammer in the water, and they're not going to be happy about it.
They were probably doing some repairs on the dam like long ago, and it just got stuck there.
All right, that seems And even though I have the hammer and it has unlimited uses, I still think Kata Samaria strats here is probably better than hammer strats.
And with half magic, like you can make so many Samaria blocks.
Yeah, and the hammer's hitbox is a garbage fire.
All right, and we got 2 pieces of heart and a refill. We got more bombs. We got a 5 bomb capacity upgrade and a big 20. So,
ooh. So our big progression spots have been a little dry today. Like we got the hammer, and we got bottles, and we got Samaria, but like we've already been through the main areas with like 5 chests at a time, and there wasn't much. This is probably below average for opening progression.
Ooh, and Janus taking a death right there. I believe to a crab of some sort. Oh,
I think he got into Mini Moldon Cave and died in there.
Maybe.
Oh, no.
Oh man, almost the synced overworld death. That is really brutal.
Dying on the way to Ice Rod Cave is not going to feel good, especially if it turns out to be important. But I kind of feel like he's just going to head to Eastern now.
Yeah, I'd say put off till later. You might get the flute, and then you can route it in.
Before flute at Ice Rod Cave.
Oh man. You know, I've seen it there, so it wouldn't surprise me. And Janus picking up their nice... oh, not a heart refill. Must have decided wasn't picking up a heart somewhere else.
All right, so we've got Moon Pearl and Glove and Sword. Good lord. All right, so Azraella was hanging on to all the progression. That's where it was.
And just like that, we have Dark World access at 16.5 minutes. That's that kind of caught up with us really quickly. Apparently, Saskatchewan is the place to find all of your Dark World needs.
Oh, looks like we're about to get a Hype Cave check.
Yeah, and I like this place, especially it's a little bit faster to come down here and check these couple places than to run all the way to Sanctuary and go all the way around. You might be able to find myths or some other item like a bow.
Just 5 rupees in Ice Rod Cave, so Stinger's not going to have any problems with that. And we've got bees. More money. And more money. So Hype Cave.
Oh, interesting. That is a very interesting call by Stinger to not route down towards Stumpy and the dig game. Especially when you just got another 300 dropping all that money. But I guess going to Village of Outcasts, it looks like. Oh, maybe up to Death Mountain as well. Might sequence break.
Yeah, we'll see. I feel like if I was gonna sequence break to Death Mountain, I would want like the mirror or the hook shot.
Also, we see a sequence break on Janus's side with a fake flipper after Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate that he's not going to have the Moon Pearl to get the things in the Waterfall Cave. Nor is he going to have the money for Zora unless he gets it here.
No big rupee hoard here, but just, you know, a cache of love from the hobo.
Yeah, and Janus is deciding to go ahead and peace out. Not bother with the rest of the fake flipper trick, because, I mean, you couldn't get anything else at this point.
Alright, and Janus is going to be heading over to the Eastern area. Let's see if they decide to go into Eastern afterward. As a Stinger is going, I did go the long way around to go into the Dark World. Got a little trolled by the skull enemy. hiding behind under the bush.
Yeah, grass skulls and bush skulls are the worst, other than dead rugs.
I always, that is true, but I always chuckle when there's a guard underneath. It's like, how did you get in there, man? Your sprite is way larger than this.
All right, so our map check, we've got Thieves Town as the green pendant, Turtle Rock and Swamp Palace are the 5 and 6s.
Yeah, and like that, Stinger is going to opt to dip into Thieves Town. Maybe we'll check the first 4 and dip out, but probably we'll finish at this point. Having Hammer, you can actually full clear, so I would guess that Stinger would decide to full complete this.
That does seem likely. It's going to be, non-trivial to do so. You've only got 6 hearts, you've got green mail and fighter's sword, but the hammer makes things a little easier on you. As for fighting blind proper, that's a fight that a lot of people know how to do on a few hearts.
Yeah, and having Samaria as like a safer backup as well, because where blind is going to kind of sway around on the battlefield.
Yeah, Samaria blind is a fun fight.
And it looks like Janus is making the exact same play that Stinger did. They're kind of mirroring each other right now.
Yeah. With the exception of Stinger having already gone to Hype Cave, I think this is a pretty similar situation.
Right, and the scariest part is coming up here for Thieves Town. Without hookshot and so little hearts, this infamously called Hellway is sometimes a problem. But actually getting that was some really nice patterns right there from everything.
Yeah, the enemies were pretty kind that time.
Right, and Janus is actually opting to do, looks like at least Bombable Hut, maybe Sea House afterward before dipping into Thieves. So we'll see what these are.
Ooh, lamp time.
Oh, and on Stinger's side, we had a fire rod in the attic.
Well, if you want to get all your fire sources at once, you know where to go.
I'd say that this seat is on fire right now.
Are you trying to get me to sing it? Because I will.
I'm not gonna stop you, man.
Nah, we're good for now. I will spare people that particular serenade.
All right. So I would guess Stinger would be grabbing the lantern, and likewise Janus is going to be picking up the fire rod. So with that, Skullwoods is now fully completable because they did get the sword to slash the drapes, or drapes, I mean vines.
Vine drapes.
They're natural drapes.
Yeah. And debated by the big chest. But what are you gonna do? Not check it?
No, you always check it. That is one of the worst chests to have in the back of your mind, because dipping back in for it just takes so long. Alright, let's see how the blind fight goes for Stinger. Has the hammer out, so might opt to do some backup hammer strats if need be. But probably would change this to Mario for some safety. Oh!
It's a little off script there.
Yeah, taking a couple hits, and with the green mail, those heads do 2 damage, so you gotta be really careful. Oh, just like that.
Well, we have a red potion somewhere. And we're going to go ahead and use it.
Smart choice. Because would have died. Because took another hit. And another rupee horde on blind for the green pendants.
Well, I don't think we're going to have any problems with money for the rest of the seed. What do you think?
No, I think we're good. I will tell you, it is definitely better than being starved out.
Stinger's going to pick up the lamp as well. Alright, so what do you think the odds of a Skull Woods play are? Apparently not as high as I think. Oh, well, never mind.
It's interesting because you did just get the fire rod, so easily completable. But on green mail and 7 hearts, that is really sketchy. Like,
yeah, so fight. Easily completable for some value of the word easily.
Yeah, but easily of what the game expects you to do. It looks like it.
All right, so the Skull Woods play is now real. We'll get to see what's up here. It's going in the front door to begin with. This is something I like to do, actually. In case there's a small key here, makes it easier.
Right, and then just checking that one chest and then heading over to the drop-down area.
Yeah, if there's a small key in that chest, you can just walk over to this area and not have to go through this room, a bunch of other stuff.
Man, Stinger just did some ninja stealth tactics against those beetles in the fire bar. Like, somehow found a gap to run through.
All right, so both of the extra small keys are over here.
It means the back is going to have some value this time around.
Yep, there's going to be something back there. There could still be something in this big key chest here.
Oh, the maiden's a little bit of a different color this time around, with the will sprite, I guess.
Yeah, the maiden sprite changes along with the player sprite a little bit. The palettes are shared.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we did just get the Bombos medallion in Skull Woods.
Yeah, and we don't need that technically for Ice Palace since we had already gotten Fire Rod, but that could be necessary for Mire or Turok because those are both crystals in this seed.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Stinger will be making his way into the back of Skull Woods. I imagine. Well, nope, he's going for the chest first.
Interesting.
I mean, I can understand it. Like, if it turns out this is something that could actually help you beat Moth, you're gonna want it.
Mm-hmm.
That's less likely to help you beat Moth. It would be cool if you could beat things with a shovel, though.
You could probably dig up some other insects with the shovel. Just, I don't know about a moth.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I've actually beaten moths in real life with shovels.
Also, Janus had a very solid fight. Did have to use the red pot just like Stinger did at the end right there.
Well, the half magic in the fire rod will at least make this fight possible. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You'll want to be very careful to avoid all the projectiles and the spikes, but you should be okay with the fire rod.
We are getting some divergence right here. Janus is opting to do the south part of the Dark World first by starting with a digging game. We'll probably head over towards Stumpy and Hype Cave, or AK the loads of money cave.
Oof! And Stinger just takes Moth to the face, and that's gonna be a rejection.
That hurts, man. And that's what I mean. Green Mail with this few hearts is really, it's a really difficult fight.
I miss what Janus found at the dig game.
I don't think it was anything major. But we will get a Stumpy check because Stinger did skip over this, just left after Hype Cave.
And just 50 rupees for Stumpy.
More money, man. We're gonna run out of money drops here eventually, at like 1 hour in.
I mean, this could be the seed whispering subtly, "Go to Zora."
I don't know if those are the types of sweet nothings you want, you know, the game to whisper in your ear.
It's better than what I normally hear in my head.
Oh, and Stinger takes another death when I think he was one fire rod shot away from killing him.
Oh yeah, that was so close. Ugh.
Oh, and is gonna opt to leave. That's a huge time sink, unfortunately, for Stinger.
If I were Stinger, I might I think he's actually might be going to get more magic. Because there's a full magic drop up here. Nope, he's just peacing out.
Yeah. I don't blame you. Like, when you get an extra sword, even Master Sword makes that fight a lot easier. But the Fighter's Sword hitbox is just so tiny that with how Mothula moves and that you're moving with the ground, it's comes a little bit suspect.
All right, so, but yeah, I definitely agree with the decision to leave a lot of times because, you know, if I'm on like straight tilt, I do not want to be doing the same thing over and over. Now, we did just find the ice rod up on Bumper Cave, so we're going to need to find the cape in order to get that.
Yeah, cape is indeed now required for this seed to be completed, so that's another item that can really troll hard. Oh, interesting. Turning in the green pennant just for 3 bombs with Sahasrara.
I feel like at this point I might have made a dip into Eastern or something. Oh, it was over there.
Yeah, because thinking about the items that we have, all the front side of Eastern is in Logic now, and Death Mountain is in Logic as well.
Yeah. So Janus is finally going to get that back of escape check. We know it's going to be garbage.
At the same time, we're getting a pyramid check from Stinger. And we'll see if Catfish is one of those things that is a little bit weird to route in, especially if you don't have boots. Just a 5-arrow capacity upgrade on the pyramid. So let's see if Stinger decides to skip it, or we'll just go straight into Pod. Because again, with the lamp, all of Pod, except for the Bowlock side, is in Logic. And is indeed going to go to Catfish.
Yeah, that makes some sense. It's never more convenient to go to Catfish than it is right now, basically.
Yeah, even though it would be nice to have Mirror, like, just to be able to check Zora and the ledge spot.
Yeah, but I mean, Catfish has Mirror, so... I mean, wait.
Is that you calling the shot right now?
Maybe. Depends on if I'm right or not.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. It's conditional. So Janus is heading back over to the Kakariko portal. Might be doing that dip into Skullwoods.
That was a load of garbo, and Stinger is actually going to be taking the walk back.
Yeah, it would have been nice to even just get a refill right there in the overworld, because a lot of things here do like 2 hearts of damage when you run into them.
Those like bags of tentacles there, they're kind of my nemesis. Looks like Janus will also be checking Skull Woods. We're gonna get the Bombos medallion and the shovel.
Yeah, and Stinger's heading over to Pod right now. Quite a few items that could be in logic. Like if Helmasaur King ends up having the compass or the map, there are 5 items here, so nice little density. And it could be that the Bolok side has nothing of value.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's Bolok's, then that leaves us with Death Mountain and Eastern, I believe.
Yeah, and the dig spot.
Oh yeah, we have the shovel, so that is also there. Jan's
Yeah,
taking
that is true. Stinger has a green potion that I was wondering why he didn't use for Moth, but I think I may have gotten the answer here in a second. That Fant just mentioned in chat that the potion glitch is live for Pod here. So far, we've got a small key, so we're not just outright Bolok yet.
Mm-hmm.
For the dungeon to consider itself not Boloked, you need that chest to be a small key, and then 2 of the next 3 chests to be small keys.
Correct. And it's going to prompt to check this chest first before falling down. Oh! And that is a Titan's Mitts right there.
That is the thing you want to see when you come in here.
Yes, it is indeed. So that kind of blows open. Let's see. What does that actually open? That opens Mirrorless Blacksmith and Purple Chest. And nothing on East Death Mountain because we don't have the mirror hook shot.
Right. So, you know, it's not really that big a deal at the moment, but we got possibilities here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Stinger finds a small key in the lower area and actually heads to the back, which makes plenty of sense.
That's a blue mail in Spectacle Rock Cave. I would guess, yeah, Janus is thinking about it. Yeah, Janus is going to go down for it.
Yeah, go get it. Get another small key in the compass chest. And we head to the dark rupee basement here.
So we find a big key and the Cane of Brian right there.
Hey, Brian. I found your cane. You should come get it. But, that being said, that also unlocks Spike Cave.
It does, which is where Janus just was over there. But couldn't really do it because it doesn't have that red pot anymore and doesn't have any invincibility item. There's the map in the dark maze. So only the chest or the compass remaining of to find these chests that would make a Helmasaur King not in logic right now, or the Bolok side. So let's see if the slash chest provides any good stuff.
Nope. Just the compass, so that's going to leave the bow lock section for for Stinger to go deal with, as well as potentially some of the things behind the single lock doors.
Yeah, that means that there could, I believe, if I'm thinking of my key logic correctly, there could be an item be on the vanilla big key chest location, because you can get 2 small keys on the right hand side of the front.
Did he check the harmless hellway? Because I don't think he did.
No, that one I think he figured out how to be a key for a key.
Well, if there's 2 small keys on the right hand side, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's possibly one of the ones he skipped over has an item. We just don't know which one yet.
If there's only 1 small key on the right-hand side, then they both have small keys.
Okay, just saw now it was a piece of heart at the old man, providing a little bit of love for guiding him back to his abode. So it looks like at this point, from what we know, looks like Dick Spot and Eastern is what's remaining right now.
We also had it pointed out earlier that Agina's cave is still on the table.
Ah, yes, because nobody's gone over to desert area. Let's see if Stinger decides to go for the blue mail, and it looks like it, yeah. Especially after his run-in with Mothula.
Yeah, that's a perfectly reasonable setup. It's interesting that Janus decided to use the statue to go get the Bombos medallion, even though the Cane of Samaria was available.
Yeah. Probably
it can happen.
In an autopilot. When you get in autopilot mode, sometimes you forget those things. And we do know that Mothula has nothing because that the shovel is down there.
Right.
So this would just be to get the crystal. So I mean, obviously the value in getting the crystal, and if Janus does get this on the first time, that'll be a big advantage. Because Stinger has to be going back for it.
I'll definitely make up some of that lost time. So Janus will now be heading, or Stinger, excuse me, will now be heading back to the Dark World. Janus squeaking through that door. I saw the screen freeze right as it came to the next area.
Mm-hmm, I did too. I was getting a little concerned once he was getting bodied by the skull pot that you couldn't pick up from that angle. Ooh, only at 3 hearts going down here. It's a little spooky. We're getting a hammer peck check over from Stinger. Because this part of the Village of Outcasts all got opened with the Tinesmith's find and pod. And there's an unfortunate death from Janus.
Yeah, kind of felt like it was going to happen, but we'll see. So next, we'll see some checks of blacksmiths and such. I imagine Stinger will be doing the digging game first.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody just really loves to do mirrorless blacksmith in purple chest, and by really loves, I mean the exact opposite of that.
I didn't realize it was opposite day.
But
God,
yeah,
that bunny beam really just hates Janus, man.
That it does. All right.
All right, coming in with a few extra hearts this time around. Not much magic though. I think still has the green pot though. Getting some nice shots in.
This looks like it might. This looks like it might happen here.
Yeah.
Ooh. There we go.
Very nice job by Janus.
Janus is the first of our runners to take down Moth, and that is actually the first crystal of this match.
Indeed it is, at about 45 minutes. All right, looks like Stinger is doing the mirrorless dwarf turn-in right now.
Mm-hmm. I've seen mirror at purple chest, which is like the worst.
Oh man. Yeah, that's that is a feels bad when there are a couple locations where certain things need to be that make it feel bad. And another one is having a hook shot in vanilla chest in Swamp Palace.
There we go. JanusZeal picks up the shovel, and off we go.
I think Janus contemplating maybe updating a tracker really quick. Going back to Sanctuary.
All right, so we got more money from the blacksmiths, more like counterfeit smiths.
They apparently decided to go into the printing press business.
Yep. This is an interesting location Janus will be heading. I'm not sure where he's going. Is he just going to Zora the old-fashioned way?
Yeah, looks like it.
Oh, flipper time!
Speaking of Zora, yeah, so shovel was required.
Yep. Value wood strikes again.
You're gonna have to like jump into the Lake Hylia to clean off those flippers a little bit though. They might be a little bit dirty and soggy from being under that dirt for a while.
Yeah, I'd probably wash that first.
So this will probably actually prompt Stinger to do all of these overworld flipper checks and go to Zora himself.
Yeah, that does seem entirely likely, and we'll get to see what's in those in the waterfall cave. Just 10 arrows on the Zora ledge, so nothing particularly blocked by the flippers here. You know what else with those flippers is just kind of screaming my name right now? It's a little place called Ice Palace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ice Palace is definitely looking like a reasonable play at this point. Although going in without hookshot is a bit of a pain, but you can do one bomb jump, which will get you to the hookshot side of it.
Speaking of bombs, that's what Zora has today.
Well, today in the world of Hyrule, a very explosive deal coming to you straight from Zora.
Ooh, there's the Ether Medallion in that waterfall cave. That could turn out to be pretty important. And now Janus is going to go dig up the shovel location and be a little bit put out.
Yeah, that's going to be unfortunate. I'll probably put that off for a while. But The only bad thing is if ether is required for either of the dungeons, and then doesn't go back for it for a while. I had a pause right there of really, really, game.
It's like, you kidding me right now? Is this what's happening? Is this the reality that I am now living in? Yes, Janus. Yes, it is.
All right, let's see where Janus is going now. Might be heading over. Yeah, looks like heading over to the desert area.
Yeah, we might be getting a check of the ledge in, say, Agina's cave, but I believe that's all that he can access at the moment. Or we can just go straight for Agina's cave. That also works. So I actually learned where the names of these two guys came from.
Yeah, I think I heard it from your commentary a couple of days ago. It came from some of the Buddhist gods, right?
It's Hindu.
Oh, Hindu. Excuse me.
It's the names of the 6th and 7th chakras in Hindu stuff. I don't know what the technical term for it is, but it's Ajna and Sahasrara are 6 and 7.
I think that's pretty cool, man. I like little fun facts like that.
Ooh! So Hookshot is on the ledge in desert.
Oh boy. Well. So this seed is giving these runners a run around. We already have either a book locked or flute with mirror locked hookshot, and we have a cape locked ice rod. That's pretty cruel, man.
I know, right?
And we have Stinger in Ice Palace right now, getting a nice bomb strat right there with those two Stalfos Knights.
Yeah,
and
that's a little more forgiving than you think it is sometimes. At least the location on the bomb.
Interesting. Doing the bomb jump, even though having Canis and Mario in is gonna probably full clear it anyway. That's a really interesting decision, but gets it first try regardless. So good job on Stinger's part.
Yeah, it's not a wrong decision. It's just interesting. There are plenty of different ways to route Ice Palace, and I'm not sure any of them are correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't think we've gotten an Eastern check at all yet, so all this information from Janus is brand new. Which, it's weird to say it's 52 minutes into the seed and we haven't seen Eastern. Man, these jellyfish, they're just like... They do not want him to do this bomb jump.
And that is a excellent setup for that jump.
Absolutely textbook.
It just occurred to me that you could do the spin setup there.
Yeah, I tend to do the top and bottom one, not the left and right one. It's a little bit more finicky, but I find it a little more consistent if you do get the setup.
So the thing with the spin setup there is, if you do it right, you'll definitely be on the last possible pixel you can stand on, and that's where you have to be to make that jump.
Just a big 20 in Eastern right there. Believe already has the big key, so yeah, gonna check this chest.
Meanwhile, Stinger found the big key for Ice Palace, and just the burrito in the big key chest. Wait, so Stinger runs Soul Blazer, but Janus is the one using the spray from Illusion of Gaia? I'm confused.
This doesn't make any sense. Also, this room without hookshot or boots is awful.
Yeah, that staircase is the true final boss of this particular dungeon.
Alright, and Janus opting to kill everything in the room because on low hearts.
Ooh, book!
Well, there we have it. There's our access to the hookshot.
More like bookshot.
Indeed. It's the instruction manual for the hookshot.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. It's not like you have to get access to a dungeon or anything with it. Okay. Looks like Janus is taking a death warp right here and is probably going to go into pod afterward. I think pod's the last location for progression for Janus.
Alright, so we've got Fighter Sword, but also half magic Fire Rod for Cold Stare. And Fire Rod, you know, hits like a butter sword on Cold Stare.
I was gonna go for tempered slash, or sorry, hammer, which counts as tempered slashes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, same thing. I think
Alright,
one more. Oh, one more. There we go.
Nice. Good job from Stinger right there. That hammer hitbox can be a little weird against Cold Stare. As if implying the hammer hitbox is never weird.
Yeah, hammer hitbox is garbage. That being said, so a little fun fact, the small key there on Cold Stare indicates that the logic wanted you to have the Cane of Samaria for that dungeon. Now, the Cane of Samaria was absolutely available, but just throwing that one out there.
Alright, let's see where Stinger's gonna go next. Alright, this looks like a desert play, and it's gonna find out the hookshot location. Man, this feels bad for Janus. Just does not want to go into pod without bow. Which unfortunately is locking him hardcore.
Yeah, we're having a discussion of Ice Palace logic and how this could possibly work out, but it does.
Mm-hmm. Sure does.
Stinger gets that lovely, lovely blue ruby, and will now be acquiring that hookshot. Now, the hookshot will finally make Death Mountain a attractive play.
Hmm. And I think at this point, we're almost an hour in. Taking stock of what we need for go mode, knowing where this hookshot is, we still need the cape to get to the ice rod that is required for Turtle Rock. We need a sword upgrade, and possibly Quake Medallion if it's needed, and a flute.
And a bow.
And a bow.
And a mirror.
Oh boy.
Yeah, go mode's a ways off.
Yeah, it's been kind of a slow drip of progression in this seed, to be honest.
And now all 7 of those things will be in Paradox Cave.
But that's not a perfect Paradox Cave, though. Dr. Bob. It would need to be 5 items out of the 7 for a perfect 5 out of 7.
Oh, okay. Good
Oh
old Hex
God, is that? Did he get the big key? I hope he got the big. Yeah, okay, he got the big key.
But there's the dungeon logic requires that you have boots. So the game would expect you to have the boots to beat Desert at this point, because you could steal a key from the back. That being said, why would you?
Yeah, exactly. All right, looks like Janus is finally making the way into pod right now, and is gonna be grabbing the Titan's bits here very shortly. Stinger grabs the hook shot, is gonna end up finishing off Lamulus and getting second crystal on a Stinger's end.
And we'll head back and kill Landmola. Sounds like a plan to me. Luckily, Janus is going to be heading over to Pod to be able to get that Titan's Mitts.
So after Desert, I guess you just go to the Death Mountain, and if you have the medallion, would you go into Turtle Rock?
Maybe. Oh, that's a tough decision. I'm gonna hope I find something to unlock something else before I have to go into T-Rock. Like, if I find the cape, I definitely leave and go get the ice rod first. If I find the flute, I maybe go to Mire area first. If I find none of the above, well, I just bite the bullet.
Alright, does get 1 item right there off of Landmol's, just a big heart, vanilla. We haven't seen a purple chest check, have we?
I don't believe so.
Don't jump over, Janus. Don't do it. You gotta go get a key first, buddy. All right, looks like Stinger is gonna be heading up Death Mountain right now. And one thing I'll be interested to see if Janus does opt to skip the Hellway also and go do the Dark Maze.
All right, so Stinger will now be heading over into Paradox Cave.
Yep, grabbing these 2 chests at the bottom and the 5 up top. Getting hookshot too for the Moldorms is really nice.
Hey!
Oh, that's a Master Sword. And that's that brings us 1 step closer. It's just nice to get that Master Sword early so you're not scrounging around for a sword upgrade later once you get all the required items.
Look, we've seen all the money now. Stop it.
Holy moly.
Alright, we've still got quite a few locations up here to check. There's 2 items in the Tower of Hera that will be 100% available.
Yeah, unfortunately not another crystal though.
Right. That is a place I would walk into and, depending on what I saw, leave. I'd want to leave as soon as I got the 2 items. Hey, there's the red mail up on the floating island. We can't actually get that.
Another important, well, I wouldn't say important, but a nice to have locked behind something else. Oh man, this seed has just been the ultimate tease, man.
All right.
I'm gonna get an ether tablet check though too before going into Hera.
Yeah, and at least we picked up that Master Sword along the way. That means we can actually get the silly thing. But it's a big 20.
I'm starting to wonder how many big 20s we got left in the pool of items to grab.
There are always more big 20s. That is the official rule. Alright, so there's the big key for Tower of Hera. This is not going to work out the way you want it to. I guess you'll just use a ranged weapon.
Boomerang strats. Alright, it's going to force us to go up top. And getting the compass that early is generally a no bueno.
Yeah, it makes it just that much more likely that you have to go down to the good old basement tile room thing. Coffee break strats room.
Mm-hmm. I enjoy running over with the pot over my head along the wall. Just a piece of heart for the first item. Oh, is he gonna... Ooh, is he gonna do the bomb jump? Okay, he's gonna do the bomb jump. It's gotta be... and fell down.
Now, once again, that's one where you can do the little spin setup. But you have to be careful, and if you're not, you will fall 2 floors, and it will be the worst.
Yep, thankfully the beetles don't respawn. Respawn.
I wish the beetles would respawn. Too soon?
I see what you did there. I think for that one it might always be too soon. Alright, opting to do hookshot stress this time around. Gets the small key. So 50-50 that Moldorm will have the last item. Or if it'll be the map, and then you gotta go to the basement.
Yep. So that, once I saw that small key, that is the point at which I might consider just leaving the dungeon and just saying, okay, 1 item, I'll leave it. But I'm just saying I would consider it. I'm not saying I would actually do it. Not what we would call a gambling man.
Oh, that was a weird pattern from Moldorm right there.
You're gonna want to slash him one more time. There we go.
Like the tip of the Master Sword hitbox right there.
And it's the burrito.
And Stinger is going to skip it. Oh boy. Well, let's hope that's not progression.
Unless you're a fan of Janus.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, sometimes you just want to hope things because you just don't want their sanity to be destroyed.
Nah, he checked Ether Tablet.
Alright, and going through the Walk of Shame and Spiral Cave right here. And what do we get? Another piece of heart.
All right, so next order of business, we'll be heading over to, I imagine, check Turtle Rock. Maybe not go inside yet, but definitely at least check the medallion requirement and the nearby caves with chests in them.
Yeah, just coming up here to open the portal, and then from there we'll probably opt to do Super Bunny and Hookshot before heading in there, just in case they find, that they find the cape. Because God forbid, double dipping TR in standard mode just feels awful.
You know what would be fun? Cape in Spike Cave.
You know, that would be definitely something. I don't know what it would be, but it would be something.
For some value of the word fun.
Yeah. How liberally do you want to use the term fun?
All right, so Stinger going to be checking out the Super Bunny Cave.
Also, Janus is opting to use some Bombo strats in Ice Palace in some of these rooms.
Just a couple of pieces of heart in Super Bunny Cave. Perhaps not as super as we were originally meant to believe.
Alright, let's see if Hookshot Cave provides anything. Oh, that's the mirror right there. And that will give Stinger access to the red mail that's on the floating islands.
And the flute! And 50 rupees. So the flute gives you access to the mire area. He's not even going to bother with the red mail. He's like, nope.
Oh, not gonna do Spike Cave.
And no Spike Cave, no T-Rock. He's just like, you know what? I got the flute. I'm out.
That's a really interesting decision. Normally, people would just go check Spike Cave to get out of the way because it's really a pain to get out of there. And most people opt to never just leave the opposite direction.
Yeah, I figure maybe he's just like, you know what? I already skipped the basement of Hera. This is basically the same thing. I'll take care of those at the same time if I want to.
And at an hour and 12 minutes and 45 seconds in, the goose is officially loose.
Everybody say hello to everybody's favorite swag duck.
Alright, and that actually puts Swamp Palace and Mire into logic. Looks like Stinger is gonna opt for Mire first.
Yeah, so the mire play seems reasonable, even though we've already been into desert. We get to see what's... Mainly it's because of early chest density. Like, you get these two here. You get Checkerboard Cave, and then you can clear out Mire, which basically takes the same amount of time either way.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing in the shed. Is gonna go over to Checkerboard Cave next. I didn't catch what the medallion was.
Neither did I.
That looks like it's a bit too far. Oh no, it's fine.
Apparently Bombos as well, so Skull Woods today. Skull Woods, man.
Mm-hmm. All right, and Mire only has 2 items in it, so not too much stuff to be had.
But it is something people tend to just get out of the way while they have the chance. I mean, assuming you have the Cane of Samaria before going in there.
Oh no, Janus is skipping over the right-hand side of Ice Palace. And is on 1 heart. Oh, no one dies!
Ooh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Thankfully, has enough magic to go through that first room again.
Yeah, and maybe he'll go down the right side this time. Now that he's coming in from the top, it can use the key to reach it instead of having to use the bomb jump.
Yeah, I would fully expect that. Getting buyed by those pen gators a little bit. As we see Stinger starting the Mire trek. Coming up. Sarah is gonna just damage boost through it for a small key. Fortunately, it doesn't look like this is going to be the God Mire or anything like that, where you get like the big key early and then the couple items.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that's not what happened, because I always get the big key early when I'm not in go mode. That's what happens. Sort of. Anyway, so we are going to go ahead and head to the cutscene room.
Janus had to use their blue pot and doesn't have any more pots remaining.
Let's hope they can manage to get to that book. And we can note that definitely, based on what we've seen here today, the game did expect you to come in here to Ice Palace without the hook shot and get that book so that you could go get the hook shot.
That's pretty dirty.
Go right, go right. Yay!
Yes. Sweet. Okay. Gonna leave that chest there for on the way back. And as far as safeties is concerned, no powder yet. And fortunately, both of our runners have had to use their pots. Speaking of pots, there's our last bottle right there, in the big chest.
Does that mean Vitreous has the last item, or do we see a second item?
I believe Vitreous has the last item.
So this is not what I would call an ideal situation for fighting Vitreous, to be honest.
No bow, no pots. Yeah. I don't
no
think this...
cape. Ugh.
I mean, Burn is actually decent.
Yeah. The only thing is, Burn is gonna drain magic no matter what you do. Whereas with Cape, you can just kind of spam the sword and it'll drain it a lot slower.
Oh no, Janus fell down thinking with having the hook shot.
No.
Oh,
Don't skip the big chest.
Oh, he's skipping it.
Don't do this.
Oh dear. That's autopilot taking over right there.
This is gonna be. I can't imagine when he's gonna want to come back in here.
Well, he doesn't have much left. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's one thing you can't do there, Stingers. Spinning with the Cane of Brian is not possible.
This would be better if there was, like, Tempered Sword.
Yeah, much better.
He's got to be careful.
Get out of the goo.
Alright, he barely got it. And he's going to do hammer strats. Oh! Oh! That is a rip on Vitreous for Stinger. And
at least a
gonna
well-thought battle by Janus over on the Ice Palace play. And he's going back in for the big chest, it looks like.
Did he end up killing Coulter? Okay,
Yep.
He did. All right, see it on the track. All right, great job by Janus. So, you know what's the crazy thing is that despite everything that's gone on, we're tied in crystals right now.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting here. Although Stinger has cleared out, say, Skull Woods minus the boss, and Misery Mire minus the boss.
Yeah, no, I will give credit to Janus though. You know, able to actually clear out the bosses on one or two goes, and because of that has you know, one extra crystal that Stinger doesn't have. The Mire redip is kind of slow. It's not too bad.
Yeah, the only real obstacle is that first room, and then you just kind of get through as quickly as you can. Alright, so we're getting the swamp play. It's a play that you'd prefer to do in Go mode if you have the chance. But unfortunately, doesn't look like that's going to be the case today.
No, there's still way too many items away.
That first item is definitely not what we're looking for, though.
No, definitely not. You know, you said earlier, like the progression in a seat has been really at a snail's pace. I mean, even when they got mirror and flute right there, it didn't really open up like that much at that point.
I mean, just to debate us all, it'll be on like Graveyard Ledge and Grove Ledge.
All right, here we go. Janus getting the book. Let's see what they opt to do. I mean, does have that knowledge. Probably just going to go clear out desert, get their third crystal. As we get Stinger going into the back part for this one chest.
This is the vanilla compass chest.
Yeah, let's see if ops to go left side. Probably will, since it's too far away from go mode.
So my algorithm for this one would have me go back first, and oh, there's the boots.
I have one question for you, Dr. Bob. What are those?
I'm told they make you go fast.
Oh, sweet. Great.
Well, there we go. Yeah, my algorithm would say go back first, and then if you find nothing, go left side.
Mm-hmm.
But I have weird algorithms.
Yeah, to each their own on how they want to do this, because it's not like that big of a difference in time.
All right, so Stinger is now heading to the left side. We'll get to see if there's anything of use over here.
And before it's like both bow and cape. And then I think wouldn't that theoretically that would be go mode, I believe.
Bow and cape. Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah.
So that's 3 items already, I believe, if I'm counting correctly. And that's 4.
Yep, see, left side is garbage. That's what it means. But yeah, the thing that determined that was not just the fact that I hate left side. It was the fact that the mirror was locked behind the hook shot.
That's fair. Yeah, I would say actually that this race is far from over right now, because Stinger does have to go back and go beat the mire boss again, and has to go back and kill Mothula. Mothula won't take that long, but the mire redip takes a decent, like a non, trivial amount of time.
That is definitely the case. Alright, so Stinger is now heading to the flooded back section. I imagine we'll check these 2 chests here. There's the tempered sword, which I certainly would never say no to.
Yeah, definitely not. That's gonna make the penning fight, if they never find silvers, a lot better.
Also makes the moth fight just, like, the best. I think that's all the items.
That is indeed correct. That's all 6 items. I believe Argus will have the compass. And, yeah. Stinger will shortly have a 3rd crystal.
So the boots are technically required by the logic to complete desert, because the small key is on the torch. It's not required per se, unless there's something on the right-hand side of desert.
Yeah, and we do not know that, and that'll be interesting to see if Stinger will head back there.
Janus had an excellent Landmolus fight while we were paying attention over here.
Yeah, I will give Janus credit, doing a great job on these boss fights overall.
Alright, so Janus is heading up to Death Mountain. We will note there were a couple of things up here on Death Mountain that Stinger elected not to check, so if Janus checks those and they turn out to be something, this race could turn around.
Yeah, exactly. Like pretty much bower caping up here is the major thing. All right, with that, I think Stinger's trying to decide what to do. Gets the flute out. And
Yeah, so I think
I'm not sure where Stinger's going right now.
I think he was gonna do like purple chest maybe.
That could be.
He might also go get revenge on Moth. Ice Rod is on Bumper Cave, so
Yep, gonna get the revenge. Janus is gonna do
kind of the best.
Because
you'll take care of Moth, and then you'll go check King's Tomb, Bonk Rocks, and Graveyard Ledge while you're up here.
You know what? I just had a thought. Cape can be on the pedestal.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I'd check it while I'm up here too.
Oh, I 100% would. It didn't even dawn on me until right now. I looked down at that Mire and TR crystals and I was like, wait a second. If they somehow get Bo elsewhere, that's gonna be a problem.
So Janus looked like he was about to head into Turtle Rock and then decided, wait a minute. There's this whole other dungeon I need to check. Also a tablet.
And a much easier fight for Stinger with that Tempered Sword.
The Tempered Sword makes it a basically academic exercise. Especially with all of those hearts that we now have and the blue mail.
All right, and Janus is dipping into Hera. We'll see if after completing Hera, we'll go to the basement and make that check. And Stinger is indeed going to give us a ped check right now, guys. Get your hypes up.
Here it comes. A lonely hero.
Oh my god. This run is unofficially validated because we know where it is. Oh, that's so good.
The debate is real over here.
Oh my god.
All right, so Stinger's heading back up here to Death Mountain. We might have a Turtle Rock dip imminent.
Mm-hmm. And this will be big for Janus's side, because if Janus opts to check like Spike Cave or the Hera basement and it has one of those two items, that's gonna be big because then you just do TR on one follow through. Janus trying to do that skip right there with no boots. It's really awkward.
There
Gets
it
it
goes.
that time.
And now, what are you doing? Oh, I guess he hasn't gotten the big chest yet.
Yep.
I mean, the route for this seed has been really just stringing you along in that linear fashion.
All right, there's an early big key from the first spike area of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, so I mean, to be honest, it does feel like Turtle Rock does have a high chance of some progression here. And the cape could very well be in here, and it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Mm-hmm. Actually, these chests coming up in particular are the ones that I tend to look at for having some items. But
Not
just
today,
has
though.
Just 2 small keys, though. Very interesting. You don't normally see that over there.
Yeah, it's a very nice setup for the route through here if you're in go mode.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that is not the case today. And Janus is going for the Hera basement.
Alrighty. Well, this is the moment of truth for Stinger. Will Pen and Hera have one of the ultimate answers? And is opting to take a coffee break. Somebody cue the Jeopardy music.
Okay, I'm done.
Alright, Stinger coming out to the lava bridge section. And let's see if that vanilla big key chest has anything. And survey says silver
arrows.
Oh boy.
Okay, so that's, I mean, that's not earth shattering, but it is Ganon shattering.
Yeah, indeed. Why do I have this seeking suspicion?
Oh, there's the cape!
Oh my goodness gracious!
Stinger, get out. Get out now.
I think I think Stinger's gonna go
maybe like Mimic Cave or something.
Oh wait, oh apparently not. Yeah, you could do that and then exit, but it's not gonna do it. Just gonna say, heck it. Going to get that ice rod.
Yeah, you figure if you're gonna have to make the double dip anyway, you might as well make it right now.
Oh, I think I know what happened. So Stinger realized that it was in the Dark World, and so realized could not do where that special portal trick. And said, all right, I'm just gonna exit out now. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and yep, that is correct. As Malware Correction said, that is a required double dip.
Yeah, what kind of jerk hides the ice rod behind something in Turtle Rock? Who would do that? Well, see, I think if the bow is in Turtle Rock, you wanted to come out here and get this ice rod right now, especially if the bow was in, like, the big chest. Because then you could just go mode the rest.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so we are a bow away. And, I'm just curious. Did Stinger check the Bonk Rock locations? Like the Bonk Rock
I do not believe he did.
The King's Tomb.
Yeah, I do not believe that was checked. So King's Tomb, Bonk Rock's Graveyard Ledge, that whole area is still unaccounted for. As is, I believe, the Grove Ledge.
Oh, Stinger, you gotta be a bit careful, buddy.
Stinger is having dead rock troubles for days, and is going to go ahead and get a little bit of a refill.
Alright, so we're gonna see... Oh, Janus falling again. But Janus is gonna, since getting that mirror, is gonna go grab the floating island item first, and then come back in to finish Hookshot Cave.
Interesting.
I mean, if you fell, you might as well do it, because you're going to have to start from the beginning anyway.
And you can actually hook shot onto that pot on the left from the invisible bridge if you really want to. Kind of give yourself a little head start. Spike Cave has not been checked either. That is also unaccounted for.
There's actually been quite a few overworld checks that have not been checked. We haven't gotten any of that North World side with the Graveyard Ledge, Bonk Rocks, and King's Tomb. We still haven't seen Purple Chest and Spike Cave.
There's that flute for Janus, and we'll see where he heads after this. Stinger has now made his way back into Turtle Rock. We'll be doing the rest of this dungeon, I'm sure.
It's going to Sanctuary, so going to activate the flute.
So I hope his play is go to Swamp and skip left side, but I don't think that's going to be his play.
Yeah, it's really hard to passive Mire, but Swamp technically has more items, so it's like, what do you want, a possibly slightly faster dungeon right now to go through, or do you want something that has a higher item density?
So retrospectively, the reason I want him to go to Swamp is so he'll have Tempered Sword for Vidi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tempered Sword Vidi with Burna is much, much better.
All right, so we're going to get new information over in Turtle Rock, or in this case in Mimic Cave, which, you know, it's basically part of Turtle Rock.
Pretty much.
We got bomb upgrades, so nothing earth-shattering there.
All right, Bombos is required. Okay, so Janus opting to go straight into Mire, not checking the other stuff first.
Very interesting. I imagine with red mail, Vitreous will be a little bit easier to handle.
Yeah.
I think the lightning does the same damage either way, but the eyeballs will do less.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those eyeballs, they pack a mean punch. That was a cute little Samaria strat in that roller room right there from Stinger. Setting up the block from downtown. Great job of sword beam usage from Janus right there in that room to clear out the Wizrobes.
All right, so laser skip time.
I mean, you have Burna.
There's that small key. Compass. And Butter Sword.
I'd say his sword is marginally better right now.
Okay. I see what you're doing there.
That was also a fair response.
It's also, you know, a completely true statement, despite the fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It only helps you on a few bosses.
I mean, this is one of them. You can get the heads down in one little cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Without having to use the rod again. Unfortunately, if you don't remember to switch to the fire rod right away, you get this situation where you get ice all over the floor.
Shouldn't be too bad though. It still has plenty of hearts. If you get the double spin, it's good. It doesn't get the double spin. Oh, all right, there you go. Very nice job from Stinger. And that's going to be 5 crystals for Stinger. Still no bow in sight.
I wonder if the bow is on the Pyramid Fairy.
Could be. Because that is now definitely in logic. Stinger still not checking Spike Cave. Looks like gonna go back to Mire to finish that off. And get a 6 crystal on the other item that was left on Vitreous.
Yeah, I believe there was an item left on Vitreous. I mean, I could be wrong. Nope, there was not a Graveyard Ledge King's Tomb whatever check either.
I think Stinger is... Oh, Janus sniped from long distance by that fireball.
From downtown. But he's getting right back on the horse, getting back in there. That'll be pretty good. Now, Stinger is probably going to have a much easier time fighting Vitreous today.
Yeah, like, it's gonna be 9 day with Butter Sword versus Master Sword. I mean, it still sucks that there's no bow to help get down those eyeballs. But at least they take a lot less slashes.
That's why Vitreous is holding on to the bow, because he didn't want to get massacred today. He might not be holding on to the bow. I'm once again making this up.
The comments made by the commentators may not actually reflect what goes on in the seed.
Yes, we do not have a spoiler log.
Stinger throwing the bomb. I think he forgot he had already opened it on the first time through.
I'm sure that's something I've done before.
Force of habit.
I mean, I've done the same thing with, like, the switch in the room before it. Just forgot that I didn't need to hit it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone falls victim to that one.
All right, Stinger is now re-entering the Vitreous fight. Applying the straight-up NMG strats here. And Butter takes down Vitty.
Oh, never mind, it was just a map.
Not an item.
Huh, interesting. Well, he checked the map chest, the vanilla map chest, right before the like there was going to be another item there, but he may have just miscounted.
Looks like it. I still want to see Bo in Spike Cave now.
Yeah, you know, it's looking more and more likely.
Just because it's right next to the silvers.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of. I imagine we'll see a North Dark World check here from Stinger.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Bonk Rocks right now. Silvers were in Hera basement.
Right now, Janus is gonna deal with Vitreous in the long distance manner.
Oh.
Or not. And I don't think Janus is gonna have anything to do with this right here.
And just a couple of big 20s in the boots locations in the North World.
I've heard those referred to as the flanctuary locations.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Alright, where are you going, Stinger? Fluid to 4. Fluting again. Fluting.
Oh, he didn't get Ice Rod Cave.
Oh, he died to, yeah, that's right. He died to Ice Rod Cave on the Ice Rod Cave one earlier, but it didn't have it, so.
Just throwing this out there, the items in Nagina's Cave and Ice Rod Cave matched today.
Hmm. That's pretty cute. Okay, well, this is good for Janus. Janus is gonna opt to go to Swamp Palace next. Okay, now Stinger is gonna go to Pyramid Fairy. It looks like.
Yep, that's a strong possibility. We may also check that Grove Ledge, I think.
Yeah, there's also Bombo's Tablet as well.
All sorts of silly things.
Hey, I heard you like doing one-off overworld locations. So we made you decide to pick them over and over and over again. Janus has dipped EP. I still don't know if Stinger ever did.
Stinger has set foot in Eastern.
Yeah. But we know there's not much in there.
All right, there it is, and a shield for good measure.
All right, and at an hour 52 minutes in, we have finally entered go mode. Well, I think I can safely say this seed was surely something.
That is certainly the case. Well, we just need to go take down Helmasaur King and then make a beeline for Ganon's Tower.
Yeah,
I don't imagine Stinger needs the silver arrows.
No, with Butter, it makes the first two phases a lot easier, which is where you can generally take the most damage.
And then once you've done Silverless a few times, you get that timing and the ability to sort of get out of the way of the fire bats and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Down the damage in the fourth phase becomes fairly low. I think we're guaranteed to have at least one small key over here in this Bowlock section, which is why Stinger is heading this direction.
Yep.
You need one small key to reach Helmasaur. And Janus is now picking up the boots.
there's that other item. Okay. So Janus is indeed going to the left side and going to pick up the bunch of Garbaggio that was over there. We'll be picking up the Tempered Sword once they hit the back.
All right, so we see Stinger getting through that ever so arduous cutscene on the way to Helmosaur, and it's time for Turtles.
I like turtles? Question mark.
Okay. I mean, I don't hate them unless it's actually dark in that room.
Yeah.
If I do hate them, and they should probably go away.
Yeah, like trying to clink your sword against them to figure out where they are, that is it's unfun because they can body you super hard. Alright, we're gonna get 17 hammer hits onto the Mask of Helmosaur King here, and then gonna do a couple swipes afterward. Oh, getting some lag right there. Not too bad though. And very nice fight from Stinger. And I believe now that we've gotten all 7 crystals, I believe there's a game that we oh, well, never mind, because this is ALTTP. Well, you guys can still put your guesses in. Yeah.
We still will guess. We'll still guess the Ganon's Tower guess. There's no bot to guess it, but you know what? We're gonna figure out where it is. I personally think that it's gonna be at Bob's chest because that's my official guess.
I always go with number 11 because that is my lucky number.
Well, all right then.
So yeah, get your guesses in chat, guys. Singer's just got 1 trip up Death Mountain to go before we're going to figure out where it actually is. As Janus does pick up Tempered right there.
So that's going to make the Argus fight a little better anyway.
Yeah. I mean, doing 1/ versus 2 makes a whole heck of a lot of difference. Unfortunately, I don't think there's really much that Janus can do at this point to catch back up. Need like a huge catastrophe from Stinger to get back into it.
Why would you even mention that?
I mean, because we've seen some key shenanigans in Ganon's Tower.
All right.
And so just don't take it for granted.
All right, so heading into Ganon's Tower, Stinger will be checking 22 maximum locations on the way in here. We've got 2 on the right-hand side, and we'll see where we go from here. First one is a piece of heart. Second one is a small key. That gives him the opportunity to go right side, and he will.
I thought for a second there Janus was going to give us a Bombos tablet check.
All right, so number 3 is a red rupee. Number 4 is the big key. Number 5 is a big love, and number 6 is a plus 10 arrows. He was checking those to see if he could find a small key so he wouldn't have to come in this room to grab a small key. That is chest number 4. We're going upstairs. We're done here.
Alrighty. Well, that showed itself pretty quickly. Ooh, Janus gonna give us purple chest check? I think just doesn't want to dip into TR.
Yeah, and unfortunately, both of those go mode items are really locked behind Turtle Rock.
Ah, okay. Sign out to Flute to be able to check the South of Grove location.
Yeah, and also potentially that Bombos tablet you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Stinger routed this seed about as well as you could have. And, you know, aside from a few unfortunate deaths, played about as well as you could as well, and still is going to come out above 2 hours on this seed. That would be... This seed, I think anybody would be hard-pressed to sub-2 this thing.
Yeah, I mean... I think the only thing that could possibly have helped is getting those silvers for Ganon's Tower that may have possibly helped. And it would have been weird if it said, oh yeah, like, your mire could have been a lot easier if you would have just never dipped mire and then had the bow with silvers for it. That'd probably be the only way you could sub to the seed.
I mean, is anybody going to do that?
Probably not.
That seems like a really out of the way or a really oddball way of routing the seed.
Doesn't get a zero cycle, but ooh.
Unfortunately, does a poke on one of them. But a spin right there will take them both out, and we're done. All right, time to move on to the Wizrobe rooms. Basically the best rooms in the game.
Yeah, those have some of the coolest strats. Like, this is one of my favorites right here, and Stinger pulls it off perfectly.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure that the developers intended you to use Cane of Samaria on those rooms, but it turns out it was a great place to use it.
Stinger going for some damage boost strats right there. A little bit faster, but a lot more sketchy. Alright.
Alright, we take down the other Helmosaur to get that other key that we need, and we will be moving on to the Trolldorm 2 fight and get eaten by the door.
Yep, just gonna pick up that full magic decanter to refill for the Ganon fight. Gets a nice dash right there. Oh, misses the other dash, but nice slash to make it up. Will Stinger check for silvers? No.
I would have. I would have definitely checked like 2 chests on the way up for silvers. Just because it makes a bit of a difference. Probably more difference than it would to check the chest, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
There's a double on the first cycle. Frag it 2. Just 1 on that cycle, but I mean, it wasn't the world's greatest pattern.
No, not really. Oh, that was like a bended like Beckham's sword slash right there. Gets another single one right there, so 4 so far. And a nice double to finish it off. And now Stinger is ready to prepare the dinner of bacon.
Yep. Now, I've been told in advance that Stinger will be unavailable for an interview after this, but we can still cheer him on as he gets ready to finish this off.
I still never got that particular
I'm
newer
told it is a Pink Floyd song.
Ah, okay. Alright, with Mother Sword already on... Oh, he's gotta be a bit careful. He's on 3 hearts right now. But just blazing through those phase 1 and 2s in 1 cycle.
And once you're on phase 3, taking damage becomes more of a rare occasion. Stinger knows exactly where those are now. He's like, you kidding me right now?
Oh, he was super close to that right there.
I think he could get 3 on this cycle. Yeah.
Which he does.
Well done. He will not get 3 on this cycle. But 2 is very doable. And there we go. Whew.
Oh
Wow.
my goodness gracious, Stinger. He's like Neo from Matrix right now, just dodging those fire bats.
Give me a heart attack over here. And there we go. StingerPA finishing off Ganon. And that will do it for this race. We have an official time from Stinger of 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 18 seconds.
Yeah, still... I don't know what happened with this timer right there, but it decided to reset itself. But a really great job, GG to Stinger, for coming out with the win right there, moving to 2-1. And as he finishes up, Janus is heading back up for a another battle with Vitreous with a slightly better sword. And is doing those slashes again, or not slashes, spins again, as he was trying to do before. All right. Gets it down. We're going on to the back half of it. I think it'll take... I always forget how many slashes. It's over 10.
I think it's 16.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know it's 8 butter. I think you just double it. But you did also get a spin or two in while he was, you know, while he was still in the jelly. So the bow is on the Pyramid Fairy, which is going to require you to go through Turtle Rock to get it. And of course, the Ice Rod is on Bumper Cave, and the Cape is in Turtle Rock. So this game is basically like, yeah, here you go. Go have some things.
Yeah, it's, you know, I honestly... I can't blame Janus for wanting to check everything else before going to TR, because when you're 2 items short, and, you know, like, both of them are essentially required to finish the rest of the game, checking everything before you have to dip in that last, like, dungeon is completely reasonable. I should say last dungeon before go mode.
And then it turns out to be in the vanilla spot, and you're like, whatever. Alright, so Janus now knows the second item for desert. It's just bombs. We'll see if this is a play toward Turtle Rock or where it might be.
I honestly don't think Janus has anything else other than TR left.
Yeah, that does make plenty of sense. I believe that Janus does know the Ice Rod is in Bumper Cave, which is why I would be so hesitant to go into T-Rock. I know where the Ice Rod is. Why can't I get it? But turns out you got to go in there to get the silly cape.
Yeah, it's not very often you see a line of logic where the cape is that deep into a seed and is required for an item. Normally, you'll get it earlier to eventually get to something that will give you extra progression, but not as, like, essentially almost giving you go mode.
And the single arrow sleeps again forever.
The vampire skewer.
Oh boy.
That's still so good.
All right, piece of heart for that Spiral Cave. Apparently, he hadn't checked Spiral Cave yet.
Yeah. Oh, no, go back up. Janus.
Yeah, Stinger, we are quite aware that that was an interesting seed. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the slow drip of progression. Oh, where is Janus going? Oh, is Janus going to Spike Cave?
I hope not. But I mean, where else could he be going at this point?
Yeah, Spike Cave. Some nice dash plus Cane of Burn strats right here. Definitely nice when you have that combo.
And now it looks like Janus will finally be making the play on Turtle Rock.
No,
No?
floating away.
What could you be doing now?
Oh, Janus never went to the Waterfall of Wishing because remember where Clipper's
yeah,
order?
you're right.
Yeah.
So that's where Ether was, I think.
Yep.
And we're fluting away one more time.
All right, going back to 1.
And now, finally, the Turtle Rock play can happen.
Yeah, this is looking promising. I believe already cleared out all of Hookshot Cave because got the flute as well. So there really is nothing else up here other than that. And the question will be, I guess they have to remember to immediately flute or mirror out in order to flute over to get that ice rod.
Oh, it's in the Dark World. I was like,
Yep.
Wait a minute. Could you, like, mirror in front of, say, like, Spiral Cave and then flute away and then come... But no, it's in the Dark World, so you can't.
Yeah.
And I think somebody was mentioning that in chat. I just didn't put it together until just now.
Yeah, it's a really great thing to do though when you know it's in like Lumberjack Ledge or not Lumberjack Ledge, like Library or something. Or I guess Lumberjack Ledge too when you fight boots. Though that's when it's a really good situation to implement it.
Yes, Janus has basically cleared the rest of the seed.
Yeah, I believe Janus is completely 100% of the overworld at this point. Yeah, I just want to note 157 collection rate for a 2-hour 6-second seed. That's
Yeah, that sure feels like a thing.
Yeah, that's what the line of logic would provide right there. Oh, he missed. I don't know if he'll still make it.
Yeah, he will.
All right, he did make it.
All right, we'll get a couple keys here. We'll go see what's in the big chest, and not the big chest, the big key chest, and hopefully Janus will peace out.
Mm-hmm.
This is a little game we like to call How Many Times Can You Climb Death Mountain?
Man, at this point in the seed, we might end up being over 9,000 and go Super Saiyan.
Could be.
And thankfully having red mail in that chain chomp room is always a nicety. Because those things hurt.
What I want to know is where's the silly powder at? That is my biggest concern at the moment. How dare you give me a seed this convoluted and not give me the powder?
It's probably in tile room.
Oh, that sounds right.
Ooh, Janus having a little bit of problem with the pokey right here.
I wonder what sort of frustration we're going to find right here.
Oh, I guess just getting down to business, doing the thing. Although Hope realizing has to leave.
I mean, I think he checked Bumper Cave.
I thought he had when he did the rest of the North World.
I sure hope so. Otherwise,
I think he's...
we're going to be...
Yeah, that's a problem.
I mean, maybe he figures go check, like, Mimic Cave and stuff and then come back. If you're going to check Mimic Cave anyway, it's not that much of a difference.
Unfortunately, it looks like with that portal placement, it's going to be doing it, doing the rest of TR.
Either that or mirroring a second time.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they didn't. Maybe he didn't check Bumper Cave, right? Not sure I remember. Oh, this is gonna be terrible.
Yeah, I don't want to see this, man. It's gonna get butter at least by doing the rest of the laser bridge.
Yeah, at least you're on board for that. All right, so making our way through that dark room here. Taking some interesting routes through here. Did he not hit the switch the first time?
I'm unsure.
Okay, maybe he hit it twice accidentally or something.
Yeah, might have been. Sometimes if you go a little bit too low from when you pick up the pot, you don't actually trigger it. That's very possible that's what happened.
And there's the save and quit after picking up the butter sword.
That's a good point from Raspberry Floof in chat. Just wanting to try and get that bow to go do pod before getting the ice rod. But unfortunately, that's not going to work out in this instance, but definitely see the sense behind the play.
Yeah, and he is going straight for Bumper Cave, so he basically knows what's up. There's no way to keep that bird from coming after you.
God, that murder-dactyl, man.
Do not like that guy.
That guy with green mail can just cause a lot of heartache.
And also face ache. Alright, so there's the ice rod. Janus will be mirroring out and heading directly back to Turtle Rock, because what in the world else does he have to check?
I want to give kudos to Janus for sticking with this. I know like that cape placement could be very frustrating, especially after you clear essentially the whole overworld.
Yeah, I'm not one for forfeiting, but I might have forfeited at this point because I would be tilted. And so it's very, very good on Janus to keep this going.
Yeah, and like I want to mention, Janus's execution was actually like wasn't too bad for this seed. Like I think it only took like a couple minor deaths, I think, to I think one to Vitreous and one to Moth, and I believe that's really the only major ones.
Yeah, he had another one on the way to Cold Stare at one time, but it also led him to get the book, so we'll let that one slide.
Yeah, good point. All right, heading right back into Turtle Rock right here. We'll be able to essentially skip over every room.
Does seem reasonable.
If only you could go mode Turtle Rock like that.
So heading through the pipes, just the most direct path you can take through Turtle Rock. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a lengthy path.
Yeah, Turtle Rock is a pretty large dungeon. It's not really, other than maybe like right here to improve it a little bit, like a fast way to go through it.
Yeah, that's basically it right there. Congratulations, you took a shortcut. The butter sword actually makes the pokies a little better. You can just slash them twice if you want to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But 4 slashes with tempered does not work. And I'll tell you why. It's because each section of the pokey takes damage. And when you hit one of them goes away, so you're doing less damage as it moves along.
Mm-hmm. That is indeed correct. And when you get that one single head running around there, it can be a big problem.
Yeah, the Pokies are also another one of the very few enemies in the game that do not immediately die to silver arrows.
Ooh, Janus having some problems right here with this room. Unfortunately, that one Samaria block hit the switch twice, or hit two separate switches.
Yeah, sometimes you're going for that, but not today. All right, so Janus is entering this fight with 4 hearts, but we're armed with butter. We are once again going to get ice spewed all over the floor.
Ooh, taking a shot from the head right there. Gonna use a blue pot.
Clean up on aisle 7.
That's just a cold thing for that boss to do, man. Why can't he just do a fair fight?
I mean, it's certainly not very nice.
All right, so let's see. Hopefully, Janus will go straight to Pyramid Fairy and grab his bow. Maybe that extra shield, too, for Mirror Shield.
Yeah, that is a possibility. It'd be a little bit overkill at this point, but there is something that's pretty useful on, like the mimics in Ganon's Tower.
Mm-hmm.
You can just kind of walk up to him and just shoot him in the face if you have the mirror shield. Also, it blocks the projectiles from the Lynels on the way up.
Oh, you know, I actually didn't think about that, but that's a good point. Because normally, boots, I just dash through them. But if you don't have boots, it's a good option.
Yeah, I once had to go through that section with, like, Fighter's Sword and, no, like, green mail, but I had the mirror shield for some reason. So it was like, hey, I can turn around and not die.
That's always a great realization. I can actually do the thing today, and I don't have to worry about it.
And Janus knows that this is the last possible thing that he can do. I'm expecting a whole lot of, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, hasn't really shown too many frustration slashes, but probably internalizing it at the very least.
If we have time to talk to him afterwards, I imagine we might get some of that during an interview.
Does indeed get the mirror shield.
And there we go. The bow is in hand, and we're going to be going off to pod once again.
Thankfully, to finish this off, just going on the bow side section doesn't take too long. Especially having the silvers.
Yeah, and the rest of this seed is going to be pretty solid, I imagine. Though, if he takes sort of the traditional Ganon's Tower route, it might be a little longer still.
You have to see what he does with that single key. Some people change it up if they do get the key and just go right side, and some people will just stick to their mirror out and do the full left side to try and get a statistic advantage.
Yeah. So I ran some numbers. Here we go. So in general, if you took a random route through Ganon's Tower, you would expect it to take 10.5 or 11.5 locations to find the Ganon's Tower big key, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the traditional left side route has it's 11.48, I believe. So it's slightly better. And then the right side route is actually 11.6. The go right side if you get at least one key.
Yeah. Huh, interesting.
Interestingly enough, that can be improved significantly by go right side if you get 2 keys. It's weird enough.
Yeah, that in itself is weird.
And I have my route that I've worked out that makes the average number of locations you check 10.40. Or 11.40, excuse me.
So apparently it goes a little bit slightly on the faster side. It's a little bit under half.
Yeah, well, it's faster in terms of number of locations. I don't think it's faster in terms of time.
Yeah. All right, Janus heading down to the Helmsor King direction right now. And should make quick work of it, just like you saw on Stinger's side with Butter Sword. Just a couple slashes. All right, not too bad of a turtle room for Janus right there.
You could also opt to put those silver arrows to good use if he really wants to, just because I haven't had the silvers this whole time. I wanted to use them. That's what I'd be thinking.
It's like, dude, I've had him in my inventory for like an hour, but I could never use him. Why give him to me? Alright, getting a semi-decent pattern right here. Always like it when that tail attack comes out.
Yeah, it looked like the first hit there was actually a poke.
Mm-hmm. Looks like it. And with that, Janus has all 7 crystals and is going to head up to Ganon's Tower to defeat the Big Pig.
And I imagine this will be a relatively painless trip up Ganon's Tower.
Let's see if stops off at the potion shop first. Nope, just gonna head it right back up.
All right, so once again, for those of you joining us late, this seed has been a mess. It has been perhaps the worst thing I've seen in a while. In order to get the ice rod, which you needed for Turtle Rock, you had to get the cape, which was in Turtle Rock. You then had to go get that ice rod, and then behind that was the bow that let you finish pod.
In Pyramid Fairy.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, like, Mitts being in pod was kind of a, not a weird location, but considering had like a bunch of extra overworld plus like Skullwoods and Thieves Town open, it was kind of an odd location.
Yeah, so not only did we have a required Turtle Rock double dip, but we also had a required what's it called? Palace of Darkness double dip, and that ice rod or not ice rod, that ice palace situation. Yeah, Stinger's talking about. That is a very interesting situation, but yeah, it worked out because the big key was over there on the right, so there was no way to lock yourself out of the right side before heading there.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It looks like Janus will be taking the left side play, so strap yourself in.
Only a big 20 on the torch. So Bob will live today. You get to live to see another day, Bob.
Cool.
See if we can find that powder and mushroom.
I mean, that's clearly what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, so my algorithm at this point would actually, after this room, go right side.
So you found 3 keys. That would make sense because you can actually get to Armos that way and then kind of circle back around.
Yeah.
All right, gonna implement some Samaria strats to go through these rooms.
Yeah, Samaria strats are pretty much like the most consistent strats. It's it requires the least amount of physical dexterity.
You're still only on 14 hearts. Like, where are the rest of the heart containers, man?
Where is everything? That's the question. Well, there's one. There's the mushroom, and there's the powder.
Random room had the mushroom and powder. That's so poetic.
Random room is basically the middle finger room at this point. There we go.
Nice bonk strat from Janus.
So we're at least going to get to see the Ice Armos just get completely destroyed.
Massacred.
Bye, Bob.
And Bob got stuck on the edge of the opening right there. Not too bad of an Ice Armors fight right there. It's like, I still don't understand why the developers decided, hey, let's make that Armos fight that was already kind of weird with its patterns. Let's just put, you know, ice underneath you so that you slip around and can't get good setups.
Yeah, that sounds like the sort of thing people want to do in video games. At least Janus is not falling for the tile room debated.
I mean, you would think about doing it at this point in this seed.
I mean, you've already found all 4 small keys, and it's just like, well, it could be there. Ugh. What I love is when you can rule out tile room because there's only like 2 small keys in like the first 9 chests. I believe among the first 2 on the right, the torch, the 4 in the Stalfos room, and the 1 before Rando room and tile room. Among those, there have to be 3 small keys.
That would make sense. Like, honestly, there's probably some, you know, there's definitely key logic behind it. Like, I remember, I don't think it was this version, but I think it was in the previous version or the one before that. There was almost always a small key in that the fire bar room where you have to push the block in it. Like, that one almost always had a small key in the seeds I played.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Alright, deciding to take a more aggressive strat in that room. And utilizing the mirror shield in the second room right there as well. Can you abide by those spikes? See if it takes the safety up here, because did not go back to the potion shop.
I feel like I might. That's a yes.
Probably had a few extra hearts. It would be fine. But, oh, and actually gonna catch it with the bug net.
That is certainly one way of doing things.
Oh, nice double kill with the spin right there.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so taking care of this gauntlet pretty well, we get to the icy rooms. It's like, how can we add to the frustration of dealing with the enemies that involve the most RNG in their movements? Let's add ice!
Oh gosh, Janus, don't die, please. Get to the powder. Get to the powder. All right.
I am also wondering who does Ganon's HVAC system. What with ice in one room and desert in the next?
Yeah, they need some sort of like new thermostat or something.
I mean, if he's doing this intentionally, it's a pretty powerful system, to be honest. That's a pretty solid Landmo fight as well.
I mean, Katy Perry's not even this hot and cold.
Oh. There we go.
All right, at least getting those first three Wizrobes. That's the key thing, because if you don't get those first three, the rest of the room can be a little bit of a jerk.
Yeah, I'm told what you want to do there is try to go up first and then place the block to the left. That way you're close enough to the guy on the top right to actually hit him.
Good job
call.
staying calm in that room.
And also good call kind of going to get the magic, because I think if he'd have gone straight for the stairs, he actually would have despawned.
And again, already has butter, and Silvers doesn't really need anything else to go fight Ganon.
Yeah, I would definitely not be checking any chests at this point, unless I just wanted to show the audience what it was. Janus switching to the hook shot, something that I frequently forget to do here.
Oh, that wasn't okay. Well, he got that one. I don't know how that other one didn't hit.
Janus wants nothing to do with that remaining chest as well. You'll be seeing the Aga 2 fight, the Ganon fight, and then this seed will be over.
Oh god, these mini Helmosaurs. Why?
This room is the true final boss of Ganon's Tower.
You mess that up before you go through those bumpers, like, oh my goodness. Like, it just becomes an absolute clown fiesta to get through the first half of that room.
Just unleash some cape strats or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, these patterns are not being kind to Janus.
Yeah, one thing for anyone, anyone's trying to improve on Aga, you want to get close to Aga, and then so it baits the shots there, and then redirect them. It makes getting the angles a little bit easier. Should get a double right here, very nice.
Denied by the blue ball.
Just needs a couple more to finish Aga off. I'm just opting to take the slow and say, oh, nice last shot right there.
And off we go to the Ganon fight. This should be over in basically no time.
Yeah, and has a fairy as well, and with half magic should be able to take this fight nice and slow and steady.
Or yeah, nice use of cape strats.
Probably going to set up for torch glitch here after, since by using the cape and by using the probably will use the lantern. Oh my goodness gracious. Ganon Y.
Well, we got that extra potion, so we're okay for now. It's a nice spot for a double. Time to light things on fire.
Oh, there we go, and that's gonna do it.
Ganon goes down. And it's fanfare time. And Janus finishes with an official time of 2 hours, 55 minutes, and 42 seconds.
I just noticed the message at the end. Meow, 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 meow. Oh my god. I don't know why that kitty is going like crazy at the end.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
I don't know. Alright, let's see if we have maybe a tiny bit of time to ask a couple questions to Janus.
Yep, I'm gonna try to get a hold of him.
Yeah, but overall, to kind of just generally recap the seed, Cape and Bow were the kind of the trolley items there at the end, because that knowledge of Ice Rod was pretty early. And to think that this seed, you know, like had, like after a trip to Sahasrara, had a fighter sword, mitts and, or not mitts, gloves and pearl to just give immediate Dark World access, which that kind of opened up the seed. Yeah, it just kind of blew the seed wide open for a while, and then it really just slowed down to a snail's pace.
Yeah, just kind of drug on for a while. And there's really not much you could do about it. And, you know, Janus didn't make any bad plays. Just everything seemed to be kind of stacked against him.
Yeah, and I can't blame the guy for just not wanting to go into Turtle Rock to dip that. Like, that's just... Whenever you try and dip Turtle Rock without having the stuff needed to finish it, you have that back in the back of your mind, like, is this actually, like, a good play?
All right. So I haven't heard anything from Janus, so I think we may need to go ahead and call it a day. I want to go ahead and shout out to the people behind the scenes. We had Iceman F1 on the restream department and Raspberry Floof on the tracking department. And thank you very much for putting that mess together.
Yeah, and Dr. Poptastic, always a pleasure, man. Thanks for commentating with me.
Yep, and same to you, Troja Dude, and thanks for that, and good luck in your races later.
Thank you, man. Likewise. And GG to both runners, which have been StingerPA and JanusZeal for today's race. Give them all a follow, and we will see you guys later for more randomizer action. I believe there is some stuff going on here in about an hour on Speed Gaming 3 and Speed Gaming 5. So make sure to tune into those.
So yeah, make sure to not miss out on any of this action. The round will wrap up as soon as the 6:30 p.m. match happens, and then the pairings should be posted for the next round fairly shortly, so be looking forward to that. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you later.
Have a good one, guys.